Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Yesterday, I made two videos. One, and is the one on top of this right there, where I said who controls the West? It knows it lost in Ukraine, and then what interests push West to self-destruction. This is one of the videos I made yesterday. And there's another one that I made yesterday, and about I think it is these guys knowing they already lost and what keeps them going. And this is the other video I made yesterday, the one on top. NATO admits defeat, ? NATO calls losing to Russia a tragedy, and talks about negotiations. So these were two videos that I made yesterday because I think they are on the brink of collapse. I'm talking about the West and Ukraine, because if the West collapses in its support, military, economic, financial, the Ukrainians will call Putin in about 20 minutes. So I have an article here that will again confirm what I said, and here it is. Confirm helps to build my case. Let's make it that way. Okay, I don't want to say it confirms, it helps. Because it helps, you get information, you put them together, and then you connect the dots and you reach a conclusion. So my conclusion is, as I mentioned about 27 seconds ago, these guys are collapsing, they don't want to fight anymore. For various reasons that we'll discuss. Here it is. The new voice of Ukraine. This comes from the Ukrainians, not from the Russians, not from the evil allies, but from the good axis. Do you like how we? Okay. The good are the axis, and here the bad are the allies. Can we use that? Yes, because they don't own that characterization. Now, the new voice of Ukraine. Several EU states, European Union states, blocking new sanctions against Russia, refuse to sever economic ties with enemy. Your enemy, not those countries. Those countries are not enemies of Russia, are they? Because if you're enemy, that means they can drop a few bombs on you. I don't think they're enemies. They are, in here, but not in action. Why? Because they're weasels. They're not going to take Russia straight on, face to face. Why? Because Russia is going to cause some damage. You're going to give you a bloody nose, and you don't want that. You want other people to get a bloody nose for you, which is Ukraine. This is the garbage that these guys have to put up with. Remember, several is more than two. All right? Let's see what Podolyak says. The European Union has yet to introduce a new package of sanctions against Russia, as several member states are unwilling to sever their economic ties with the enemy. Mikhailo Podolyak, an advisor to the president's office, said on national television on November 11. And I'm quoting, "We see the companies under the jurisdiction of, for example, Europe, continue to operate within the Russian consumer market," Podolyak said. And I'm quoting again, "They make money there. Unconcerned that the Russian budget taxes this money, and then this money is used to recruit those who are then sent to kill Ukrainians. They don't care." Well, it's between Ukraine and Russia, isn't it? Or right now is about the monolithic, the collective West, as the Russians call it. It's about collective West. See, these things confirm certain kind of statements made by the Russians, which is the collective West wants to destroy Russia. Now, this guy through Ukraine, using Ukraine. Now, this Podolyak comes out and spills the beans and say, you know what? You should do that because that's the enemy. That's your enemy. And if these guys are involved, that means they are at war and want to destroy these guys. So Ukraine supposedly, asks the European Union or countries, to hurt Russia. And Russia, that's exactly what Russia said. You guys are not our partner. No partner. You want to destroy us. No. Well, let's move on. Democratic states like Ukraine must take the principled position that any economic partnership with Russia should be impossible, he added. For you? Well, what's going on in Israel again? Democratic states, what are they doing about it? I tell you what they do. They have a big mouth that right now is like little bitty, 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 bitty. This is what's going on. On November 9th, reports surfaced indicated that certain EU countries are opposed to using the frozen assets of the Russian central bank to support Ukraine. That's robbery, my friends. I explained to you, you have a quarrel, a fight with your neighbor here, the bank cannot freeze your money and give it to your neighbor without a court order, without you being charged, convicted, and whatever, pay reparations. But the bank is a third entity. Doesn't have anything to do with this. So when these guys say, "Oh, we should freeze the assets," which I think is garbage, you're at war if you intervene. If you intervene on one side, that means you're at war with the other one. There's no way around it. If you fight with Gigi and Mikey helps Gigi with food, with weapons, things that will affect you negatively, Mikey is not going to be a friend. He's not going to be, neutral. He's going to be a party to the war. What that means? That means that all these guys that are helping could potentially be blown up. Unfortunately for us, not for them, us. Now, on November 8th, the EU's chief diplomat, Joseph Borrell, said the bloc plans to present a new package of sanctions against Russia. On November 7th, it became known that despite sanctions, Russian trading companies still can purchase firearms and ammunition in Europe and the United States of America. Well, not only, my friends, not only these guys planned for this. The Russians, they think they just woke up. It's a surprise. It was a surprise when NATO went full force, except bringing troops. Why? Because they would affect these guys too much. And since these are democratic countries, the people will see, because the free media is going to inform them, and they will vote these people out of the office. That's how the story goes. It makes me freaking laugh. Why? Because we know it's not like that. But anyway, the media is free as, a canary in a little, cage. Well, my friends, here it is. These guys finally say it out loud. And why? Because the voices in the West start to be louder and louder and louder. It's been more than a year and a half in Ukraine. These guys keep giving this, supposedly the Ukrainians. They just have the Ukrainians dying using these guys as weapons manufactured by some private companies that manufacture them with your and my taxes. I wasn't asked, but they don't care. They tax me in my name because we voted, regardless if I agree to the social contract, right, with the game, the rules of the game. These guys take my taxes, give it to the private companies, sell it or give it to whomever. They get their money. The private companies get their full amount. You know who's not getting the full amount? On the contrary, our taxes go somewhere where we haven't been asked for, or asked if we do it. I don't want to do it. I want to be asked how much I want to do this or that. Well, the system doesn't work that way. And in 4 years, these guys can destroy a society, an economy, and then what are they going to do? Oh, let's just vote them out of the office. And you get the same guys, but with different, the same guys, because you didn't think that the guys that are screwing us right now would do this, did you? Because if you knew, you wouldn't have voted for them. So you didn't. So they fool us. They fooled you, the guys who voted for them. So the guys who voted, now they have to own that, don't they? Or they say, well, they fooled me. Okay, then why should I vote for another guy? The same, thinking that these guys are all crooks. Obviously, when Biden and this garbage came out there and said, vote for me, they didn't tell these guys, well, when the things happens, then we're going to do this in your name, and I don't care what you say. You voted for me one time, and I'm going to take how many decisions I want. That's kind of like a bad deal. What do you think? You say yes, and then they bring everything in your yes. I don't like that a bit. And you have to wait 4 years to say again a yes or a no. So remember, they give you a package, but then you don't know what's in the package. But you vote for the package. You say, yes, I vote for you, and you will work for me. And then when he gets in power, he brings the package out, and over there, let's say, is 99% of those things listed over there you disagree with. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Nothing. You can't do. You have to wait, work within the system, as I was told here in United States of America in college. Oh, you got to work within the system. Okay, but in 4 years, there's not going to be any of us to work within the system. Well, I don't know. Of course you don't. Did you think about it? How can you get them out? You can't. You can't, and you voted one time, and they get decisions, whatever decisions, constitutional, mind you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So yeah, the cracks are there. Big and wider, spread the legs and get a little, bigger and bigger. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.